Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach, and it is Real Talk Tuesday. Another cold morning, so wrap up. Okay, this is kind of twofold, so hang on as I go through this. 2016's coming. You see a lot of people making these plans of everything they're going to do in 2016, which is great. I see a lot of leaders, pastors talking about be a warrior, be a grinder, do all these things is the point. And so, and that's all well and good, but there comes a time that we got to stop talking about it and we got to be about it. Even the coach in the locker room, the head coach, he talks about all these things we're going to execute. We're going to do all these things out on the field. But do you know what? When that team takes the field, he doesn't stay in the locker room. He goes with them. That's what a good leader does. And so he's also exhibiting that same faith. He can't be on the field with them, but he's there. He's right there on the battlefield to support them. And so that's very important. And here's the deal. He ain't talking about it. He's going to be about it with the team. And so with that said, we have moved forward on a what I call Team Texas Outreach to help with the tornado victims. It has really devastated Garland, Rowlett, and they have a lot of volunteers. But a little bit further south, heading toward Waco, is the Ellis County. We're talking about Waxahachie, Red Oak, Midlothian, Ovila, which I'd never heard of until now. And so before we do an outreach, I always go first to look at the layout and kind of pray over a certain area. And I always say, God, where do you want us to be? Where can we be most helpful? And so I took some pictures that I pulled off Facebook, and everywhere I went, no one seemed to know where these pictures came from as far as where that damage was. And so I finally stopped the car and I said, Lord, show me where to go. Show me where to go. And so just kind of on faith, I continue to drive, and it's kind of, and I listened to a video and I heard the guy say Midway Airport. And I'm thinking, Midway Airport. So I look it up and it's like right there at Waxahachie and Midlothian. And so I go all the way. Now I'm on 287. I ask a guy at a convenience store, turned out to be a firefighter. I show him the pictures. Where is this? And he said, man, this is over there off of this farm road is exactly where it is. And so I drive over there, and sure enough, if you've never witnessed the damage of a tornado, it is devastating. It will shock you. It's not a laughing matter. You're watching people walk around in absolute shock. Everything's gone. It looks like an absolute war zone. I kid you not. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And so, sure enough, I get to the location I felt God had pointed me to, and I begin to ask questions. And it's one street, and like this tornado just destroyed, flattened this one street. But on the corner, there's a house that was barely touched. So I talked to the owner, and he kind of almost had survivor's remorse, or survivor's guilt, as they call it. Because he's like, man, I can't understand why my house is still standing and everyone else has lost everything. And so I start talking. I said, hey, I want to bring out a team to help with cleanup. We're Rock Bottom Outreach. This is what we do. And they're like, okay, that'd be great. They just got back in there Monday. And so because everything's blocked off until they secure the site of electricity, things like that. And so I asked a guy on the street, I said, okay, I'm going to send my team to this address. And he said, okay, ask for James. And so I look at the street sign, and he said, I'm on Walker. I said, all right, cool. And so I'm talking to the owner, and I go and I do this normally. I take a snapshot of the street, but I noticed something. The street is on Walker, and Faith is the cross street. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, that's kind of cool, Faith. And so everywhere I go, I'm talking to the residents affected by this. And I left them with this. I said, man, I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but that's where faith comes in. And they're like, well, we're very lucky, a lot of perspective, a lot of volunteers and such. And so something kind of draws me to this picture. And so later on, me and James Renfro had dropped off stuff. We were down there quite a while. And so we leave in the evening time. And I never thought any more about this. And so later on, I get back in the area of the Crum area and all that. And I'm showing a friend of mine these pictures. And I said, look at this street sign. But when I turned to it, it looked different than it did before. It looked, it changed. It jumped off. And at the same time, we both saw it. The ER was kind of bent. So the two words you saw was this: walk and faith. I mean, it just jumped off the page. And so in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, it says what? We live by faith, not by sight. We're talking about God wink affirmation right here. And how true that is. Man, if we're going to be a Warriors, we're going to be grinders in 2016, we're going to make a change in our life. We've got to walk by faith, not by sight. We are handcuffed by our own fear because we want to see something. And that's not it. I mean, we're talking, there comes a time, man, you got to stop, you got to start walking. And you walk by what? Walk by faith. I think that sign was clear affirmation. And so this Saturday, we are putting together a team that we're going to meet in that area at 8 a.m. We're going to go help with cleanup and stuff. And so if you're ready to take on that mentality, we'd love to have you. If you're ready to stop talking about it and be about it, we'd love to talk. We'd love to visit with you. Go like Rock Bottom Outreach on Facebook if you've not already done that, because we're going to post the details. Again, this is a devastating area. It's beyond words until you get there to say, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. So, but what are we going to do, man? We're going to walk by faith. Major God wink. 2016, we're going to walk by faith. Hey, it's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach. It's been Real Talk Tuesday. Have a great day.